I told you it's not ready yet.
Honey, just show it to them.
Friday night tights. You're about to get frostbitten.
Get him!
Fasten your seatbelts. It's gonna be a
Bumpy ride.
All you geeks and gamers better stop to me, okay? I smell like burnt hair. Julie, that isn't stopping. Fuck you, like your
Godson, that's wonderful.
because I think you're all.
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and looks like we've got a whole new mess as you know the rest of the G4 team found out on their day off on a Sunday or so that they had been fired, and some of them presumably found out online via the tweet, which regardless of kind of how you feel about, you know, the network or whatever the case is, like that's from a human, just being a human perspective, it's pretty garbage. And of course, we know that there are certain people that we're going to make this all about them. And we talked about in depth that I don't believe that one person's rant was the real reason the network failed. They had enormous overhead. They were paying Ethots, apparently like Amaranth, $25,000 to $30,000 a day to show up on set. They had an immense amount of upper management that were all sucking huge salaries, and ultimately the show just wasn't that well received. Now it had its fans, but that small group of people, which may have been able to sustain them for maybe 6 months longer or something like that, got halved or cut in a third after an unhinged rant by Frosk, which now many people on the inside, seemingly through anonymous sources, have said that nobody knew that that speech was coming. And predictably, Frosk has now made everything about her. Hey, I want to announce today we launched apple pie tea and sticky pecan roll over on coffeebrandcoffee.com. These are limited time flavors. Make sure you, by the way, I decided today, promo code The Quartering, 10% off your coffee, tea, or cocoa purchase. We have 13 different coffees, 8 different teas, or 8 different teas right now, 3 cocos, 10% off. Make today the day you check it out. Supports the channel, and I know you're going to love some of our French toast just launched. Oh, we have so many delicious flavors. So I'll leave a link in the description for that. Frosk, my speech on mean words in gaming segment was approved by all the executive showrunners in X-Play, allegedly. So there's a lot of hullabaloo about whether or not people knew. She then goes on, when I was originally hired and cast, G4 made the internal statement that diversity and inclusion was what it was built on to fix the past. Well, we all know building things on diversity and inclusion always work out amazingly. I was fully supported initially until the doxing / threats. Now, this is, again, I can't out of hand dismiss this statement because I don't know. But what I can say is pretty simply that show me the receipts. Okay, this is something that she had been scheduled to come on my channel and kind of address things. I felt like, you know, I didn't know if she really thought I was going to treat her fairly, but I definitely was going to, and maybe give her a chance to kind of, you know, to humanize her a little bit. But then she eventually came back and said she was getting all sorts of doxing and threats. I never saw any of it. In fact, I asked her agent directly, can you send me some screenshots of this behavior? Because I will publicly disavow it. And I do. I don't support people like going back on her Twitter and like dunking on her. I'm not going to, you know, say you're an evil person, but like all that really does is kind of reinforce the things that she's saying. I'm not saying that you're not allowed to do that or whatever, but nonetheless, she then goes on. So anyway, I don't know. She's not proved it. She's not provided any receipts to provide. evidence of that, of these doxing or threats. So I can't believe her on face value. She's got a history of lying. She then continues. I asked for support multiple times and was ignored or directly lied to about support coming. No guidelines, no plans, no help. Then management changed and it became openly hostile. Now, I asked my sources at G4 and unsurprisingly, they did not reply. I understand why they maybe don't want to get mixed up with all of this stuff. I'm not going to, reveal them, but still I understand. I mean, they're trying to find new jobs. They just got laid off 2 days ago. I get it. My question was, what does openly hostile management look like? Were they really doing this? What is that? What's that all about? She then continues, and now this is the last thing I'll ever say about G4. People who I worked with were lovely. I gave them everything, producer, writer, host, and more, and I would do it again. Love y'all. Interesting, because then she continues to say, in reply to Roma Di Nova, who I don't know, she's a commentator. I'm so sorry you went through this. At my prior employer, I was doxxed and harassed, and they had no support for me outside of the coworkers who knew and cared and checking up on me. By the way, doxing's never okay. I don't care what terrible things you say on the internet. It's really messed up, and I hope you're able to find somewhere in the future who supports you more. To which she replies, doesn't exist in this industry, but I'm leaving, so it's all good. So she has referred to quitting the gaming industry entirely. And maybe that's good because she clearly doesn't like gamers and they don't like her. So it seems like she must have some talents that have garnered her to gain employment until this point. That said, I don't know what they are, but maybe you can commentate on knitting or like competitive pogs or like Digimon stuff. I don't know. But video games industry and her just don't seem like a fit. And sometimes you just rip off the Band-Aid and you go somewhere else. She also then, of course, talks about, in reply to a lot of incredibly talented people just landed on the market. And then she writes, yes, I was in charge of finances and all the programming decisions. I'm secretly entire management branch. Again, I don't believe that Frosk is the sole reason the network failed. It was going to always fail because it had way too much bloat and not enough audience. I know what YouTube videos make. They were hemorrhaging cash. They were also, all employees aside, clearly run by novices who had never really run a business before. You go from laying a bunch of people off, then like 2 days later, firing Frost, then 3 days later, laying more people off, then on a Sunday, just firing everybody. It's like you couldn't look 2 weeks ahead in your business model. Any idiot can see, like, hey, I'm looking at my coffee sales and I'm like, gee, I have 37 cold brews left and I sell an average of 7 a day. I should probably order some, whatever that is, but like their management was like, oh, I'm almost out of cold brews. Yeah, okay, cool. I'm going to lay off one person or I'm going to order one cold brew. And then once I'm sold out, I'm going to get mad at everyone who didn't like order it. I don't know. It's bad. Just buy some coffee, tea, or Coke. I don't know. You get what I mean. Like just poor management. On top of that, Adam Sessler going on an unhinged breakdown, wanting to like fight people IRL. Somebody wrote, I wonder if Adam Sessler is part of his role in ending G4TV within a year of it being brought back. Adam writes, ask your mom. She sounds pretty proud of something. I don't really get that. If that is a your mom joke, it sucks. Then someone else says, grown man resorting to your mom claps. This is how grown adults cope. He writes, I could consider funding a House candidate in your district that cuts off all federal funding, so you have to whore your daughters off to make ends meet while I drive by laughing. Or I can make fun of your mom. What a vile thing to say. Like, yikes. And then also with a classic, your mom's got thick skin. This is how Adam Sessler and Frosk reply. And then you could look at somebody who is, reacting maybe a little bit differently. Somebody who maybe thinks, hey, I have a bright future. I have my own following. People like me. You could see Gina Darling writing, And again, by the way, I'm sure she doesn't care for me. And like, I'm not simping for her, but it's just to show the dichotomy of like, or the or the other side of the coin, you know, like taking pictures of everyone that left G4. She wrote last night, truth is, even if I had great talent and crew at G4 that did everything we could to make this work, it didn't matter. Because the truth is, I'm the one that carved the G on the vibe check table. I'll admit it. Shocking, I know. You know, so like, this is how you handle, you know, being fired publicly. And then there's like the unhinged rants that everyone else is going on. I am certain that we haven't, and we just haven't heard the last of this because of just how unhinged some of the people are who, you know, get fired. You see Louis Dorman says, Lamau, the dude I follow to find how to find a PS5 is how I found out I no longer have a job. Seriously, I'm still processing this. The people at G4 are absolutely incredible and deserve the best, way more than what we were served. Truly an honor to work with everyone here, and I love you all. I mean, same thing with Jared the Completionist. You see Austin Creed on a flight currently. Decided to get the Wi-Fi so I could send a text. Out of habit, open Twitter and fired. I just have to say, like, again, this is beyond, you know, this is just being good human. Like, whoever made the decision, whoever led these people was clearly dysfunctional and underskilled, underqualified. And that probably was a bigger reason why it failed. You don't fire people on freaking social media. That's just deplorable. And I guess it's just a perfect microcosm of who was leading the charge to reinstate G4. Could it have succeeded? Maybe. But with the leadership that they had and with the divisive attitude they created, not a chance. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave a like on it and you click that red subscribe button down below so you can stay updated on all the news today.